ladies and gentlemen. More.
I remember the moment when I heard about the assassination and my stomach churned. I was in one of the most secluded parts of Nepal, in the middle of operating on a patient. I was working as part of a voluntary organization of doctors, nurses, and students, providing a free medical and surgical camp to the people of Nepal. Nepal, one of the most beautiful, yet one of the most poorest and politically unstable countries in the world. A leading political figure had been assassinated in Kathmandu, and the whole country was at risk of a national strike, or banda, where one cannot travel between towns and cities because of the high risk of looting. We were due to leave for Kathmandu the following day, and I was worried about the safety of our team. Let's face it, a bus loaded with Westerners and medical equipment would be serious swag for looting. So, we decided to close the camp early and leave before the banda. As we packed the camp up and walked back to the hotel to collect our things, our team leader received a phone call from the district health officer. Now, he was a local MP/health lead, and he was a character you did not want to cross, a kind of Nepali mafia kind of character. Anyway, so he was furious we were leaving a day early and said it made him look bad. And he wanted us to make a public apology on the radio. And if we didn't, he would arrest us. Okay, so we complied. And our team leader made a live apology by telephone interview on the radio. But this apology was not good enough for him. So he called again, said he was totally unimpressed, and if we dared to leave the hotel that night, his police officers would be outside to definitely arrest us and throw away our passports. Throw away our passports. I felt trapped and sick to the stomach. I looked out the window of the hotel and I could see the police officers gathering. And I realized that this situation was serious. So what would you do in a situation like this? Call the British Embassy, the Foreign Office, yeah? They could kind of maybe send a James Bond type of character to come save us or something. That would be awesome. So we called the British Embassy. They were closed. So I called the Foreign Office in London, got through, told them our predicament, and their answer, call the police. I said, they own the police. He owns they're waiting outside the hotel, waiting to arrest us. What shall we do? They didn't know what to do. So our team leader grabbed the phone, told them to take our mobile numbers and to call us in 8 hours. If we did not answer, it would mean that we would be in a life-threatening situation and they had to come and rescue us. When I heard those words, I felt sick to the core. I realized we might not even make it out after all. So as the police officers gathered outside the hotel, we received news that the bus coming to pick us up would arrive in a few hours. Now, at this moment, I must explain that driving in Nepal is a liability. So you have roads full of rubble skimming along the edges of mountains with sheer drops on one side. And scattered along are old, overturned cars and buses, relics from previous optimistic drivers. Nightfall came, the bus arrived, and then a huge thunderstorm with volatile monsoon rains. You seriously could not write this. I couldn't believe this. So we were stuck in a dilemma. We could either stay overnight in the hotel and definitely get arrested in the morning and God knows what, or risk our lives by sneaking out in the middle of the night and driving that treacherous journey in the dark, in the rain, in the mountains to Kathmandu. What would you do in a situation like this? So as it got later, one by one, the police officers left. They got bored and they left the hotel. Great. So, as a group, we decided that we would make a run for it and risk our lives on the road to escape. So, in the middle of the night, when all was quiet, one by one, we all sneaked onto that bus and started driving through that long night. Driving in the dark, not knowing what lay ahead through that thick darkness and torrential rain, or if they were coming after us from behind. felt like the longest few hours of my life. And after what felt like an eternity, we finally made it to Kathmandu, and I had never been so grateful to reach that city. I felt alive and I felt safe. 4 days later, I received a phone call from the Foreign Office. Hello, we're just trying to find out, doing a follow-up phone call to see if you're okay. I said, you're 4 days too late. What happened to calling us that night? Oh, sorry, it was the Queen's Jubilee celebrations, so we were closed. Sorry, but we're glad to know you're alive. Goodbye. Okay, so a week later, we finally made it back to the UK. We did a formal review of our camp, and after the meeting, we all looked at each other, smiled, and decided, as it was a success, we should start planning again for the year ahead.